Practicing prayer. We should pray all the time and not be bored. We have several videos about prayer because it's such an important topic. Preparing for prayer. Spirituality, video number 3, how to pray. What to ask for during prayer. Spirituality part 14, requests in prayer. For struggling, spiritual struggle 3 is about prayer. At church, how can we pray at church? Spiritual struggle 8. The levels of prayer, spiritual struggle 14. The need to pray in spiritual struggle 20. How to practice prayer in this very video. And we have another video coming called Spirituality 25, Advancing in Prayer. So prayer in general is an obligation towards oneself. We have an obligation towards ourselves to pray because we need to connect with God that created us. It is a shield for us. It's protection during war. We are always under war. We are always struggling to comply with the commandments, to fight off bad habits and bad thoughts. It is a tool for the war, a sword for us. We can ask for help during the war. It's also protection for others because we can pray for others. We can and we should pray for others. Prayer is a cure for our souls. Brings tranquility to us, to our minds. It gives us peace and joy. Prayer is a fountain and mother of virtues, says Saint Isaac. Prayer beats the passions, worry and despair, and other passions, of course. Prayer keeps us stable during the war. So prayer is very important for us. Practicing prayer. How should we practice? Prayer is a mental exercise. It is a spiritual exercise. It is called like that by the monks, by our saints. Prayer is called an exercise of communicating with God. And we need to practice every day. It is a main task in spiritual struggle because we cannot fight by ourselves. There's no way we can win the fight against the passions on our own. We need help from God, so we have to pray. Advancing in prayer is the same as advancing in struggle because we pray, we fight, we learn, we advance, we pray, we fight, we learn, we advance. Exercise. In general, think of running. We need to practice running. If we want to run, we need to practice. We start practicing running for 1 kilometer, then 2 kilometers, then 5, then 7, then 10 maybe. So we need to practice, and every time we get better and better at it. We keep running the same distance until we are good at it. So we don't run 1 kilometer the first day and then 2 kilometers the next day. We have to run the first kilometer about 10 times, 20 times until we are good at it. And then we decide to run more. It is the same if we are learning woodwork. So we have to learn about the type of wood, the hardness of the wood, the tools used, and then how to work it, how to use the tools, how to work the wood, how to make shapes. So all of this is going to take some time. Then we learn about another type of wood, and then another. So this is going to take us at least a year, let's say. It's the same with prayer. We are learning, we are exercising, we are practicing. So we need to give prayer some time. It's good to ask for a prayer rule from the spiritual father. In general, we have the waking up prayers, the small compline. So we start easy, just like 10-15 minutes in the morning, 10-15 minutes in the evening, before bedtime. Then we add the matins, then the hours, psalms, paraclesi, vigil, anything we like. But all of this is going to come with time. So maybe we have to do 6 months of just the waking up prayer and small compline, until we feel comfortable with prayer, until we feel we want to pray more. And there's a lot more prayers to do if we like. The Jesus prayer can commence anytime. Maybe from the beginning, the spiritual father is going to say, start saying the Jesus prayer. 100 times, 200 times, any number. All the time, we have to be thinking about the meaning of what we are saying. We cannot say words in vain. We have to understand what we are saying. We have to mean them. Ideally, the words should come out from our hearts. So we try to do that. The struggle for prayer is in the difficulty of focusing. Most of us have difficulty focusing during prayer time, especially at the beginning. It's going to be difficult because our minds are not used to focus in prayer. Maybe at work we can focus in whatever we are doing because it is outside of us. We are looking at some items, we are focusing on them. But with prayer it becomes a little bit more difficult, and our minds run around with tons and tons of thoughts. So we have to be patient with that. We should not leave prayer because of that. We should practice more, practice and practice and practice. It's just like running the first kilometer or first mile. Maybe it's going to be difficult for several months. It would give us some pain in our muscles, in our legs, but we have to practice. When running 2 kilometers, we have to run the first kilometer again, of course. So it's the same with prayer. Practice makes perfect. If we don't practice, then the first kilometer becomes difficult again. That's for running. And for prayer, it's the same. If you don't practice every day, if you skip a few days, then it's going to be more difficult. A runner practices morning and afternoon. And for us, we should practice several times a day, ideally. Again, if you are a beginner, maybe this is a little bit difficult for you. But maybe you can do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at noon, 5 minutes in the evening, just as a start. After that, you can increase them to 10 minutes each. I hope you find this video useful. God bless you.